Well, good morning, everybody, and welcome to Penny Lane Center's Rise Up Annual Conference. It is so great to see you. As Cameron said, I am Wendy Carpenter, and I am the current CEO at Penny Lane. And before we get started, I did want to say a huge thank you to all of the volunteers. You can see them either in the black shirts or the blue shirts. They are the ones that have been here since 5 a.m., here yesterday, working tirelessly. So we are always very grateful for them. I also want to thank all of our sponsors who made today possible, the different committees that put together the program, and then finally the Endowment Center, which I cannot say enough great things about the Endowment Center. They have been so easy to work with, so supportive, answering every question. So thank you, Endowment Center. So here we are with racial justice, in the middle of some of the biggest challenges that we are facing in not only the United States, but all over the world. And typically I go off script, but today is an emotional day, so I'm going to really try to stay on the talking points and not go off script and get myself into trouble. So the theme this year is What Now? And our values in action. The irony of that is that we come up with our theme about a year ahead of time. And so who knew that values in action would be one of the biggest calls that I think that we are facing, not only as humanity, but in the work that we do. And I think when I get into tough spots, I curse a lot, but I also turn to Brene Brown. And if you're not familiar with Brene, she is an incredible author and speaker, organizational psychologist. And she describes values as her North Star, meaning what do we do when we are faced with dark times? And she says if you are firmly and solidly in your values, you will always find the light in the dark. And I think for me, and hopefully in the way we lead Penny Lane, our number one value is courage. And courage has never been needed more than right now. So what does courage look like for us at Penny Lane? The first thing it is, we speak out. And we speak out when it's more comfortable or safer to be silent. Our eyes are open when other people are looking away. And our hearts stay open even when there's hate surrounding us at all times. And I think at a time when organizations, other entities, are choosing to scrub their websites, take down LGBTQ flags and signs, changing their policies, softening their language. This is the time that Penny Lane fights harder. And we stand up stronger together. And just a little aside. So I'll be honest, spend a fair amount of time thinking about what I'm going to wear for these events. And to be honest, I'm talking to people about, well, is it on theme? Is it the right color? You know, all these things. This year took a different turn of a conversation. And the conversation was, will people show up? Will people be allowed to show up? Will people feel safe to show up? And so I want to recognize your courage for being here, and that you still believe, and that your eyes are open and your hearts are open. And I want to say a very, very special thank you and gratitude to DCFS, who, when other county agencies, even in LA County, are turning away and taking things off websites, not DCFS. They have leaned in stronger and harder, and you have been such a great partner for us. So thank you so much, DCFS, for being here. And now I'd like you to ask yourselves, what would it be like being a DEI leader at a time like this? Are you scrubbing up your resume? Are you getting ready to look for another job? Are you trying to solve problems that are, at least in this moment, feel unsolvable? Are you holding space for conversations you thought you would never have to have in this day and age? Are you telling people that love and justice are not separate things? And I will tell you, we are so fortunate at Penny Lane to have Judy Grant, who in some of the darkest times, when we've all questioned what the hell is going on, you have been the one with grace. You have been the one with integrity. You have been the one leading the way towards the light. And I cannot say enough to you, Judy Grant. You inspire me every day with your grace. So, ladies and gentlemen, let me bring up Judy Grant. Oh, that's right. And how lovely does she look? All right, knock it out.
All right. Okay. It's an honor to follow Wendy because I now get to tell you about my boss, my coach. Wendy knows what it is to embody values. She shows it every day in the work that she does. She leads with commitment, she builds community, and she models collaboration in everything that she does. Wendy is a guiding light. When I question my strength, Wendy reminds me that it's there. When I doubt my word, Wendy helps me to focus on what I need to do next. When I have no words, Wendy shares hers with me, and she has no idea how much that propels me and enables me to continue to do the work that I do. I'm truly blessed to have you as my coach and my lantern bearer. And Penny Lane folks know what that's all about. So good morning, everyone. I really didn't expect to cry before I got up here, so bear with me. I put tissue here for a reason. I'm Judy Grant. I am very, very proud to be the Director of Equity and Inclusion at this amazing agency. I am so glad to welcome you to the 4th annual Rise Up Conference. It's so exciting, right? I can't even believe it. So as this year began, many of us carried high hopes and big dreams for 2025, but almost immediately we were met with setbacks that left us questioning our place, our commitment, and even our future. To be honest, I don't think I've cried this much at work ever. Tears not only for myself, but for my staff, for my clients, for our communities. And all Wendy had to do was give me that searching look and the tears would flow, and you know that to be true. Wendy told me to come up here and be myself, so that's what you're gonna get. Everything that I write, although I had to write it down because I just didn't want to forget anything, but please know that this is from my heart. So in those moments, I found myself asking, am I doing enough? What more can I do? Can I be better? And that's when I was reminded of my dove qualities. Some of you might ask, what is that all about? I have my little dove here with me today. And if you've taken the Birds of Different Feathers assessment, you may know the dove, who is known to be steady, compassionate, and a peacemaker. That's me. I'm 110% the dove. But you may be a hawk, fierce and direct, or a peacock, lively and entertaining, an owl, objective and analytical, or you might be another dove. And yet I questioned as I thought about my dove, is being a dove enough? In a world that often rewards the loudest voices, how does quiet strength matter? So I had to dig deep. Wendy and I had a lot of conversations about this. And what my dove told me, you don't have to be loud to be powerful. You lead best when you lead with empathy and consistency. Peace does not mean passivity. Doves may not seek out the fight, but doves stay in the room and help others to do the same. This year has been deeply personal for me. There have been times where I felt invisible. Come on, I'm an immigrant woman of color, and this country has been telling me that I don't matter. I felt like I was being erased, invisible. I'm a naturalized citizen, and yet I still don't feel safe. My own children worried about me. In this age of social media, my daughter Maya took to Instagram to say how she's worried about her mother being deported. This is all I've known. I moved here when I was 5. And if that was my experience, then just imagine the children of the parents of undocumented neighbors and friends, the fear, the uncertainty that they might be feeling, the trauma that they're living with each and every day. Over the past 4 years as Director of Equity and Inclusion, I have felt motivated, proud, inspired, but this year I also felt fear and isolation. There have been days that I've hesitated to tell people what I do for fear of how it's going to be received. I am so proud of this work, and yet I couldn't say out loud to people that this is what I do, because they would question everything about me. And then there are stories, Ryan, of this young man, Trey Reed, a 21-year-old black man found hanging from a tree on his college campus just last week, Monday. This took place in Mississippi. This was ruled as no foul play. Makes you wonder. We don't know much about Trey. We don't know if he loved to sing. Maybe he loved to play with his dog and watch Jeopardy with his mom. We didn't get an opportunity to know Trey. And we may never know those details, but we do know this: he did not deserve to have hate thrust upon him simply because of the color of his skin, which, by the way, is the color of mine. I'm also raising a young black man. Ryan? This is Grayson. He's 19. This is us roller skating about a month ago. What 19-year-old kid goes roller skating with their mother? Ray just got his first job. He's studying to be a firefighter. He has straight A's. He is sweet and compassionate. He is loyal. He loves deeply. And my sister can attest to this. When that kid hugs you, the warmth and the love is so strong, you feel like you're going to break in his arms. That's what I know about my son. But when my boy leaves my home, strangers don't see that. Strangers see this big black kid who they immediately know to be violent and aggressive and threatening. Grayson could be Trey Reed. And we all have boys like this, and we all have girls like this, whether they look like me, or whether they're Muslim, or whether they're LGBTQIA+, whether they're celebrating Rosh Hashanah right now and being attacked for their beliefs. We all know people that could end up like Trey Reed. Our staff has been living with this too. They have been angered, frustrated, questioning, what now? They sought out the executive team for guidance, and they came to me personally because my door is always open. Many times I held them while they shed tears, trying to hold it together and be present for them, but what they didn't realize was that when they left, I closed the door and then I was crying as well because I did not know what to do to help them. I questioned my efforts. They just weren't enough. I felt disempowered, disheartened. I felt like I had failed my agency and the staff and the community that we serve. But the truth was then, and the truth is still the same now, that we are not in a position to make a change in a way that they would like to see. But guess what? We are in a position to make a change in this room today that will have a ripple effect, that will touch these lives and these people, and will uplift them. Can I get an amen? So at Penny Lane, we believe in transparency, and we were very transparent on our stance in this regard. But we still felt that we weren't doing enough. Our staff didn't feel like we were doing enough, so we needed to act. We needed to figure something out. Yeah, we created a resource center with all sorts of information. We had red cards printed up, handing them out like they were Tic Tacs. We held open discussions. We emailed directly. But still, staff wondered, what's Penny Lane going to do? So what we did, Wendy and I talked, how do we empower our staff to do what they feel that they need to do? And we gave people permission to take action. So in no time at all, offices galvanized, came together, gathered donations, did grocery shopping for their clients, delivered those groceries, offered more telehealth sessions than probably we've ever done to combat the fear that our clients would have had leaving their homes. And I think it was in that moment that people began to feel like, well, I'm doing something. It doesn't feel like a lot, but I am doing something. Their efforts didn't solve the problem, but it sure helped to ease their minds and their hearts. But that's why we're here today, because we know we have to rise. These feelings, these stories are not reasons to retreat. They are our call to stand together, to protect one another, to keep showing up with our values in action. We rise up today to advocate for people like Trey and to protect people like Grayson. So this year's theme, What Now? My Values in Action, have been pushing me all year long. We've all been living in a time of deep uncertainty, politically, socially, emotionally. It's impossible to ignore what's happening in our country. The rights of our LGBTQIA plus friends and family are being challenged. Women's rights are being stripped away as if they have no say. Hate crimes against AAPI and Jewish communities continue to rise. And hate is just being normalized. Is that normal for anybody in this room? So why, outside of this space, is it normal to hate? I know you don't have the answer to that question, but it's something that I think about. Even in these hard times, we do see acts of courage and solidarity every day. We see our staff standing up and advocating for others. We see that communities are building bridges. People are coming together and actually having conversations. And maybe people who are on different sides of the roads are kind of thinking, maybe we can find a way to the middle. We see that voices are rising. I have that, and then I'm thinking, what did ABC do to Jimmy Kimmel last week? And yet they brought him back this week because of the backlash that they faced. Interesting. The news headlines and social media images make us want to shut it all off, to retreat into comfort, but we cannot bury our heads in the sand. Remaining quiet is simply not an option. And that's probably why most of us are here today. Wendy mentioned the courage of each and every one of you to show up today. A couple weeks ago, I got a call as I was prepping for this event from a community partner and colleague that I admire, and was told, "We can't come. Our agency will not allow us to come. And Judy, I know you would be looking for me, so I'm calling to let you know why I cannot be there." We're here because our values compel us to act. We're here to band together with a commitment to do better. With our values pushing us forward, we will rise. We have to rise. And that brings me to the values of Penny Lane Centers: commitment, community, and collaboration. These are not simply words on a piece of paper at Penny Lane. These are things that we live by. We remain committed to standing up for what we believe in. We advocate for our community, making sure that no one feels alone in this work. We collaborate because we know that we are stronger together. These are the ways that we get to keep moving forward in a time of uncertainty. These values is what led us to rise up 4 years ago when we started this, and each year since. So, remember when I was talking about my dove? Now it's your turn. I invite you to think about your bird. Are you a hawk, a peacock, an owl, or a dove? For those of you that are not familiar with this assessment, let me know, I'll send it to you. It's fascinating. Take a moment and picture it, and ask yourself, how do your values and your way of leading guide your action in this moment? How does your bird's way of being guide your values in action when families are being separated? How does your bird help you stay committed when you can no longer provide gender-affirming care? How does your owl, your dove, your hawk, or peacock shape how you build community and collaboration when funding is being stripped away? This is how change begins, with all of us bringing our values into the room. We each show up differently, but together we create a flock that makes Rise Up possible. My dove keeps me grounded in compassion, integrity, courage, and commitment, and it helps me to answer the question, what now? My dove whispers, don't forget who you are, and don't forget the values that drive you. Keep doing what you're doing. Let your empathy and quiet strength dampen the hate and spread the love. So as we begin today, I want to ask you, what values do you hold dear? How will those values help you to move forward in a world of uncertainty? I want to welcome you to Rise Up 2025, and let's rise up together.